Hello everybody, welcome to the Buffalo Brotherhood. I really should have gotten another cup of coffee before we got started, but this is Fishing Planet and I am Ryan. And welcome to the lodge. We are still fishing in North Carolina. Happy Friday to everyone. I like to do that for me so I remember which episode this is. Make sure that you stay tuned tomorrow. We're gonna do another Fishing Planet video on Saturday. We're gonna try that out. Now, I have been fishing all day and have caught absolutely nothing. But I've had a couple different bites. So, I'm hoping that this is the one. This is actually about the third time I've started this video. I have to give thanks for credit. I have to give credit where credit is due. I essentially had a couple of guys just say like, no, you're doing it wrong. No, you're doing it wrong, sort of thing. And they finally got me set up with what we feel like is a situation will work. They were and again, this is an awesome community. Even with all the jazz that's going on, this is going to be a nice one. This is going to be a nice one. So, I could probably up the drag just a little bit. Because I do have some pretty heavy-duty tackle here. And out of the water comes a beast. Check it out. Is that not amazing or what? And that's my personal record. 21-pound catfish. 400 bucks. Let's keep it. This could pay for our trip. Seriously, the gentleman in the video before that was helping out, he talked to me between videos. And we sort of worked out a game plan with the gear that I had and the way that it was working. Now, I went to a private room, not because I wanted to be a jerk and try to not give them credit, but there was about 6 of us all sort of helping and working and sort of exchanging ideas. And it ended up being it would have been a good video within itself, but with 6 of us all here on the shore, it was a lot of walking. A lot of stepping. I'm going to reduce the drag again, just because I don't want something to get ripped out. And patience. Lots of discussions about patience. As you guys know, I would not say I'm a float fisherman. I have a hard time with floating. But as you see, that 21-pound fish was just rewarded sort of the effort of the morning. So I hope everybody's having a great Friday. I'm talking to you from the future as always, but I'm out of town this week. I'm probably missing my family and my kids and my job and all of you guys back at the lodge. But I get an opportunity to go to DC and I'm pretty excited for it. Now I'm not taking a fishing pole. I should though. I wonder what would happen if I just threw a line in the Potomac. Got on one of those little tour, like car boat things, and go. We're gonna let this guy float all the way down to just pretty much past the rocks, and if I don't get anything at that point, then we'll reset. But about where that fish just jumped. But we were having luck all the way down in there, and I say we because I actually wasn't catching much. I was up on the shore watching, but we were sort of all putting our heads together. And so honestly, I should have recorded it. Now that I think about it, I kind of feel sick that I didn't. It was to give credit where credit was due. Is a guy his username was Jusco, maybe Jusco, and then Valentine was another one, and then was it Logistic Gamings or something from last time? But it was good. It was a nice collaboration. We all sort of talked, and it was awesome. So, probably one of the reasons why I still find enjoyment in the game is it's the community. The pricing is broken. Travel prices are broken. I was actually looking at an old Wikipedia site earlier this week, and or was it the Fishing Planet Wikipedia? I'm not real sure. But it was when I was doing research on this particular river, seeing if it was a real river or not. Okay, so we're going to reel it in. And it had the pricing what it takes to travel here. At the time the article was written, it was $40 credits, 40 generic credits to travel here, and then it was like an extra 20 credits to stay. I'm pretty sure I have that right. It was less than 1,000. I'll tell you that much, because the trip that it would have been less than 1,000. For me here to come here today though, and stay 3 days was 43,000. I think is what it was. 44,000. So like by a multiple of 4, a minimum. That's a lot. And that's just been since what, the 0.7 patch? I think so. But just want to make sure my line is good and taut as it's sort of floating downriver. I'm at about a depth of 60 inches, which I don't, what, about 80 centimeters if you're metric. A little further out than I should be, I think, but maybe not. We'll go ahead and cast it back out. Be right at the base of those lily pads, which should give me about 60 feet over there. 65. That's a lot further than I meant it to be. We'll go 75. Hope everybody's ready for the weekend. I know I am. Well, you know where I am, but I'm always ready for the weekend. Got a week left of school after this. So we do here in and around Indiana. I'm not sure what everyone else's school schedule is. I will say that I know that a lot of schools go all the way into July, and sometimes late June, early July anymore before they sort of flip the year over. And year-round schooling has become pretty prevalent, but I'm always anxious anxious isn't the right word. I'm always curious to learn about other schools and how other classes do it. Pen pals is one of my favorite activities to do with other students, but I like to do pen pals from like far away. I can remember when I was in high school, but I had a pen pal with a girl from Croatia. I was just like, we met over the internet or whatever, or no, we got assigned someplace. And then we exchanged letters for a while, and it was cool because she'd always send me postcards, and I'd try to send her postcards. And it was just interesting to see what it was like over there in another country, especially for someone who doesn't travel a whole bunch. It was neat to sort of get that lesson. And then, let me see, I'd say after probably 2 years of postcards and letters through school or whatever, we just kept doing it after school. Then we just sort of, I think we did like AIM Messenger a couple times, and then I think we were both going to college, so at that point it didn't make much of a sense. Didn't make much sense. Well, no, I wouldn't say that. It's just, I don't know, letter writing just got too infrequent, I guess. I wouldn't have any idea how to figure that out now. Maybe it was the Czech Republic. I don't remember. Honestly, I don't remember. I probably made it sound a lot more official than it was, but I think it was actually a total of like maybe 4 letters, maybe back and forth. But it was fun to learn about another culture through the eyes of someone your own age. That's a pretty powerful tool for the old interwebs. I'm kind of bummed out because, to be honest, we didn't have this much trouble when we were sort of putting it to the test in the other room. We were pretty much catching them one after another. That's okay. Maybe just because there were so many lines in the water. All right. So, yeah, hoping to do one more Fishing Planet video today. The whole plan this week was to do them a little bit shorter, between 20 and 30 minutes instead of 30 minutes plus. And then sort of push into Saturday as well, because I don't know. I'm glad to get over that hump of losing all that money in Florida, and then I was excited to fish here in North Carolina. Then we sort of got this whole catfish bug going, and I don't know. The fish aren't coming as rapid fire as I thought they would when you bass fish in Texas. But that's okay. I mean, that's definitely, I think that's intended. I mean, you shouldn't be able to just farm catfish like you do those spotted bass. It would be broken the wrong way, I think. At least I think so. There we go. We were also catching some gar this way, so I'm kind of excited to see if we can get some gar this way as well, too. I was right between the trees, in case you were wondering. About 72 feet out, I think. Add a little drag to it. Because if your gear can actually handle it, it's easier on your gear to have less drag. Gotta pull him up out of the water. This has got to be a catfish. Oh yeah, here it comes. Oh, out of the water comes Nessie, the lake monster. Okay, keep it. Glad we switched to the bigger keep net, or we'd already had to be done because of the what was it, 70? About maybe a little bit more. There we go. That's good. Wow, 43 pounds of fish. That's fun. Let it sort of skirt down a little bit further, and it was about right between the trees that time. But we'll see how it goes. And there's about 75, so setting is about the same. Let's see if the results are. It's a good thing they're being generous on these hook sets, because I think both times it surprised me, because the bobber's moving. Okay, so when you're catching fish on the lure, you can watch sort of the indicators. When there's tension on the line, you set the hook. Here, the bobber's going down before there's tension on the line, so I'm having to readjust sort of my headset, and that's what was happening before. And the first attempt at fishing. So you notice I sort of keep my bobber over my line indicators, because that's just what I'm used to that's where my eyes are drifting, is to the line indicators, and what I really need to be doing is keeping the bobber closer to the bobber indicator, especially on times like this when I can't actually see the bobber anymore. The user Valentine or Valentina, I don't know. I feel terrible. I should have paid closer attention to what their names actually were to give him credit. He was running a much shallower line, or much closer to the shore, almost where my rod tip is now. And he was having a little more luck with gar, so I'm in no hurry to sort of change what we're doing, because we've caught 43 pounds of fish in 14 minutes. in just 2 fish. But I did want to sort of we might try a couple of those shorter ones on tomorrow's video on Saturday, and just see if we can't get a cigar. But we have a whole nother day of fishing left, but in no way to fast forward because of the way that has changed. So, all right, that's good enough. Let's reel it in. Let's see. I'll show you pretty much right in this line here is where he was having some luck with gar. More on this side of this log though. More on the rod tip side of the tree, and we just let it sort of float down that path. And he was getting, I think he caught 3 while we were standing there. One of them was a trophy. So almost, I kind of want to try it now, but let's just catch another catfish. Let's catch another. You saw that fog roll in again. It was nice, bright, and sunny when we started, wasn't it? It has a tendency to do that. Reel speed was too high. There we go. Try to keep that line a little tighter. Maybe slow down its descent, I guess. I don't want the line to get ahead of the bobber. Had some movement there. I think it was all me, though. Maybe. Maybe not. There might be something getting close. Or it could just be the line interacting with the logs in the water. Nope. There we go. There we go. And this is coming in a little bit faster. Oh, it's because our drag is still set pretty high. Come on. Let me see a jump. Oh, wow. Nope. We're just going to pull it right out of the water from 30 feet away. All right. I don't think that's our biggest one, is it? 15 pounds. No, I came up pretty quick. But still, that's impressive, if you ask me. So, let's go a shorter one. So we'll just alternate between the two. We'll go short and long. We'll let the other one sort of reset. Okay, there we go. Got it off the snag. Try to keep that line behind the bobber. That seems to help. Would make sense. Let me see. I'm trying to, those of you guys that watch the channel know that I don't float fish very often, but I'm trying to remember. There was a time in high school, a buddy of mine, Travis, who's actually been on the podcast before. He's one of my closest, oldest friends from way back, but we've gotten older, got kids. For a while, he moved away down in Texas, but he's now back here, closer to home. But it's like an hour away. Might as well be 6. When you're busy and you have a family and so forth. But I need to make more of an effort to get down and see him more often. But him and I remember one time went up to one of the local reservoirs, and we went trail water fishing. We used bobbers and stuff. It was one of those times when you've got your license. You're 16, 17 years old. Actually, I don't think I had my license. He had his license. But we went up and took all of our gear and tried to go trail water fishing with some float rigs. And he had grew up sort of the crappie fishing, not crappie fishing, but sort of the cat fishing, carp fishing, bank fishing sort of mentality. And I'd grown up with bass boat, artificial lures, spinning reel, bait casting reel, family essentially. So when we went, it was a little bit strange because it was like two competing philosophies for fishing, and we had a good time. I don't think we caught any fish, but we had a really good time, and we stayed all day. And in sort of your youth arrogance, we brought the stuff to cook fish, but we didn't bring any food because we were going to eat what we caught. That did not work out very well. But we had a really good time regardless. That's the second time we sort of took a trip. Second time, right? It may have been the same summer, actually, now that I think about it. We sort of took a trip to go be self-sufficient. Go out and be men, you know, when we were still fairly young. And we took all the things to build a fire, and then we took frozen hamburger. We were just going to make ourselves hamburgers and pasta salad. We had pasta salad. We had that made. We took that from somebody's house. It may have been Travis's house. And then I took like the frozen hamburger from my parents' freezer. Which honestly, I mean, it wasn't like we were stealing or anything. My parents would have let us have it. I probably did ask, to be honest. I was a good kid. I was too afraid of getting in trouble. But we went up there to the lake and got one of those little picnic shelters or whatever, and starting a fire down in the little grill area. And, was trying to use like tinder and like small pieces of wood because we brought like campfire wood. We didn't bring charcoal because we would always use a campfire growing up. But campfire is one thing. Charcoal for a grill is another. When you're only there for a couple hours or whatever. But and you don't actually have a campfire ring. Trying to contain a small campfire on one of those little park grills was not a good idea. So this is the first time we left. First time we left, when we got charcoal, and lighter fluid, and a lighter. So that was there. And then the second time we left, well, hold on. So then we get the charcoal going. We get the meat out of the freezer. It's not even begun to thaw out. It's like it is the ice pack for the freezer. So we had to sort of like leave the hamburger in the sun, hoping that it would thaw out enough without turning like rancid on the outside. We had no idea what we were doing. So then we go to cover the grill that is now burning with charcoal. We could cover it with aluminum foil, and I didn't bring any aluminum foil, so we didn't have any aluminum foil. So we thought, that's no big deal. We'll just clean the grill or whatever with the spatula. Well, I didn't bring a spatula either. I mean, that would have been way too much effort. So we left a second time and bought aluminum foil, and they didn't have a spatula, but we were fairly confident that we could make something out of plastic forks and the aluminum foil that we could use to flip the hamburger. What we should have done is just done like puff burgers, which now that I know that, it would have been perfect, but I didn't know what a puff burger was then. Which, if you don't know what a puff burger is, it is probably one of the easiest camp meals. I didn't get the line behind them. There we go. One of the easiest camp meals ever, because you use sort of the, there we go. See, got the line behind the bait. We already got some movement. One of the easiest camp meals on the planet, because strike was done too early. I didn't mean to strike. Will I get another shot? Maybe not. Because it's all in one package. The hamburger cooks in its own grease. It's a great way. So if you're going camping or something, leave me a comment down below. I'll get you a link to how to do puff burgers if you're interested. But or I'll just tell you in the comments. Oh, there we go. How to do puff burgers. But this one's a decent one. This one's not bad. Not a gar, but it's not a bad catfish. Oh, come on. There we go. Come to daddy. All the way out from the middle of the lake. Good. So let's see how big it is. 13 pounds. I believe they're getting smaller. 20, 21, 15, 13. Yeah, they are, but that's okay. It's still way bigger than anything else. 72 pounds. We're going to catch 100 pounds of fish meat. 100 pounds of fish meat. Got to keep that line behind the bobber. That was what the issue was. We didn't even talk about that in our little powwow. Yeah. But we eventually got enough hamburger cooked, and I think we even went back a fourth time, bought hot dogs, and just called it a day. But it is probably one of the if all of us guys get together, the story of that cookout always comes up because it was just a really good time. It rained the whole way there. We should have stopped, but we just never did. We knew that there was going to be a shelter house. That was part of the problem with the wood, because everything was wet. Because I stand by that. We could have cooked on that wood. Gotta get the line behind the bait. It's a little closer than what it should be, probably. Let's just run it in here. See if we can get a gar. Yeah, I stand by that part, but we learned a lot of other lessons at that time. I think it was the next summer, my brother and I bought a little camper. By bought, I mean we promised our dad we'd pay for it. I don't think we ever did. Yeah, we did, because let me see. My dad had a little pop-up, mustard orange pop-up camper, and he had replaced it with a trailer. A trailer camper that had pull out or drop down beds on each side. It was a Kiwi, I remember that. And the orange one was a Starcraft. But we told him we'd buy the Starcraft for $500 because that's what they were going to give him trade in on it. So he said sure. So my brother and I bought the Starcraft for $500. Never really paid him for it. We spent at least that or more actually going camping that summer. We had it, I think, for 2, maybe 3 years. And no, it must have been 2 years, because at the end of the middle of the second year, he was like, "Are you going to pay me that money or not?" We were like, "Yeah, sure we are." Then we put the thing for sale, and then sold it for $700, and then kept $200, gave him $5. He was not happy. He wasn't unhappy, but we were sad to see that go. That was a good time, but I need to get the line behind the bait. We'd both. I had gone to college at that point and didn't have the money to go camping anymore. Need the $200 now more than we need the $500 camper. I think that's what it was. Maybe I sold my truck. Yeah, I may have traded in I gave the gray truck to my brother. I had a Dodge Ram, an old Dodge Ram when I was a kid. I think it was my second car. And that went to my brother when I had I bought a Grand Prix after that. So once I didn't have the Dodge Ram anymore, the camper was really no good to me. Couldn't pull that one behind the Pontiac. Okay, come on, fish. I'm not quite sitting straight anymore. Is it because I'm pulling it? Could be. Okay, we got to get it further back is the problem. We got to get it further back against that shore. It's just getting harder to see, to be honest. 85 is good. Yeah, took my friends and I went camping a lot. We had the camper. It was a good time. I think my brother went way more than I ever did. We had a small little mowing business. He worked it pretty much full time. I'd work it sort of part time. So I was also working full time at a video store. That's right, kids. You used to have to go to a place to rent your movies. And so I worked a lot. So that cut into my camping trips. Especially once I got to college and needed money. But he would come home and mow, basically smash all our yards out in less than a day and a half or so. And then he'd go and spend the rest of the week up at the campground. Got him a little campground girlfriend. Eventually married her. Yeah. She's my sister-in-law now, but... come on. What we get? Big old buddy. More than 20. Oh, more than 20. I'll be, you know what, to be honest, I think we're going to cut it short here, guys, today. It's going to get us more than 100 pounds. I think. No, 93. Okay. Let's not quit it yet. Let's try one more time. I'd like to catch 100 pounds. I have it, the title of the video in my head is something about 100 pounds worth of fish. But I mean, honestly, this week here has been a great reason why people should fish. Even if it's just in Fishing Planet. Because, you know, you start the week not knowing anything. Monday we came here, we caught a personal best smallmouth at that point. Didn't catch anything else, though, to speak of. We caught a trophy crappie, I think, at one point, too, as well. But then we saw somebody catching the gar, and we saw somebody catch the catfish, and then I spent the last, I don't know, few hours. There we go. This is going to break 100. The last few hours sort of figuring out where the fish were, and then talking with people to find out where the fish was. And then now that we sort of keyed them in, now we're being successful. It's fun. It's fun again because we sort of figured it out. Hey, check it out. We're going to end on a personal best. Almost $400 for one fish. That's pretty awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you want to be notified when the next video comes live tomorrow. We're going to be doing this more of the same. We're going to finish up day 3 and then cash out. We'll see how we did total here in North Carolina. I think we're like 5,400 in. That may not include the bait that we bought. We bought a little bit of bait, I think, at some point. Yeah, the crawfish or the cut crawfish or whatever. So if you want to come back and see how we finish up, make sure you hit that subscribe button. You can hit that notification bell beside it to be told exactly when our videos go live. But if you just want to see more Fishing Planet, then you can make sure to always check back on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and sometimes Saturdays. And then coming here in a couple of weeks, we're going to start streaming on Monday nights Fishing Planet. So let me know what you guys think. Thanks for hitting that subscribe button if you haven't, and thank you if you did. And we'll see you next time. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.